Did anyone watch the televised debate last night? What'd you think? Let's talk about it. So last night was the only televised debate between John Rustad, David Eby, and Sonia Furstenau. And voting day is October 19th, as I just showed you in my little title page that I just played. And, it's kind of, we're getting close. We're getting close. I just did an interview with some independents, and I put that on Rumble because I thought it wouldn't be safe for YouTube, but I think I could put it here. We'll see. But I'll post a link to it in the description. So what'd you think last night? I was on the air for 3 hours with Clyde Do Something, Wyatt Claypool, and Alex Zoltan, and we had a lot of fun. And the reason it took us so long is because the debate was 90 minutes, but then we would pause and talk. Because when we try to talk over the debate, I know that that's a little bit annoying, but it is we had stuff to say. We were kind of just busting. One thing I have to say is I thought the host, Sachi Curl, looked a bit nervous. And I thought she might just look that way in the beginning, but she didn't seem to sort of shake it. She was quite like stiff and nervous and just sort of, and then she would read the teleprompter, which was dead set in front of her. And then I feel like it almost said turn to guest or turn to the debaters in the prompter. Cause then right at the end, at the last sentence, she would say the last sentence and then turn and then go back and look dead straight and then turn at the end. And it was like kind of robotic and kind of strange. And I thought maybe she'd shake off that nervousness a little bit because she was a reporter before. She's done lots of TV. But whatever, it's a nerve-wracking situation, I know. Probably there's also a bit of campaign fatigue. I thought that there was no like moment in there. There were a couple of moments, but there wasn't really any one big standout kind of moment because we don't like kind of operate like that in on Canadian television or Canadian debate stage. We don't have those kind of moments as such. I thought it was interesting how sometimes they keep the mics hot and let them free for all. And so you'd have Sonia and you'd have David yakking, and John is not the type to like butt on in. Like he's not an interrupter. He lets somebody complete a thought. He's not the type that wants to like get in there and start squawking and pounding his chest. I find him always calm and measured. And he seemed to be the only adult in the room because from what I could see, there was a lot of like, I don't know how much side profile I needed to see of David Eby. I mean, that's why I made my thumbnail like this. Like, who stands like this? I mean, who does this during a debate? He's done enough TV. He's done enough debates. You look at the camera. You look at the camera. You don't look to the person. I mean, sometimes we fake like double boxes in a studio where they're both in the studio and they do want to turn and look at each other, but we have them sort of in boxes anyway, so they know to look at the camera. So look at the camera. What is this? It just struck me as very, very funny and a little bit bullying, like he was a high school bully, but you can tell he's never been in a fight before. But he was kind of bullying and just stand there and stare at somebody, and plus he's so tall and the podium only came up to his knees anyway. I just thought that was bizarre. And I thought, he keeps squawking about the same things. He didn't bring up some issues that I thought he would bring up about the jabs. They kind of kept that clean, and I think they tried to keep it a fair debate. And I posted something on X before the debate saying, I want to see a fair debate. I want to see this handled correctly. I don't want to see a big, huge gang up on somebody, right? But no matter what anybody does, John Rustad is not the media darling, so he is not the candidate that the media is going to give glowing reviews to the next day. Because even though he can sort of bring heart and emotion into something and it's very genuine, no matter what he does, the media doesn't believe him anyway, and they got to shit all over him, like with some of the statements he made about drugs. He mentioned that he thought he saw somebody die on the way to the studio, and or that he saw somebody die, and then the media is like crapping all over him for it today. When I just want to say, before we get into this, that toxic drugs have caused 2,500 deaths in 2023. It costs 4 lives a day here in BC. And out of all the provinces, BC has the most overdoses. So give me a friggin' break. But let's just take a look at a clip from last night.
Thank you very much. And when I look at what's going on in British Columbia today, there are people dying on the streets. The people dying on the streets, whether it's from crime or whether it's drugs. I was on my way over here, and at the corner of Robson and
on his way over,
there's an individual who died. And there was emergency people rushing. This person died from an overdose. This is the British Columbia that David Eby has created. Tent cities are growing all over the place. We have a crisis in healthcare. We've got a crisis in affordability. We've got a crisis in housing. What we need is a common sense plan that is going to be able to deliver for people in this province. British Columbia has all the potential you could ever want. We have all the resources that we could ever want. We've got a well-trained, well-educated population, but we're hopelessly managed. What's needed in British Columbia is a government that will tackle these issues, that will make sure we get government out of the way, and that we make sure that people can once again be proud to be British Columbia and to be able to build a future here.
Thank you, Mr. Rustad. Mr. Eby.
Thanks. There are huge challenges in our province, and they're not unique to our province, whether it's the cost of living, challenges around getting the doctors
Not his
and
fault. It's
nurses
not unique.
that we need to ensure our healthcare system delivers care for you and your family when and where you need it.
Oh,
The issue
really?
of affordable housing.
Come on.
These are critical challenges, and we can solve these problems. In
Well,
fact,
what are you doing?
We're starting to turn the corner on some of them. For example, connected 250,000 people to a family doctor in the last year. We're going to connect another 160,000 in the next 6 months.
Are you?
Well, every British Columbian who wants a family doctor will be able to have one by the end of 2025 at the pace we're going right now.
Really?
But you hear from John Rustad, conspiracy theories,
Conspiracy
division,
theories.
cuts.
Shut up.
It's not going to solve the problems that we face. We got to take these problems head on, and we've got to do so much more. And we can solve these problems together.
He said that a couple of times last night. We got to do more. We got to do more. Yeah, you got to do more. You're the one in power right now. You've been in since November 2022. What are you doing? If I worked at any job for nearly 2 years and I couldn't produce and I couldn't deliver, I would be fired. I was fired because I tried to produce and tried to deliver the truth to people, and those buggers over there at Global News still fired me. I mean, if I didn't get fired, I'd be working on that show for sure, and those were always fun to do, but no, those buggers. Now, Sonia Furstenau, I don't really get excited about her. She's not somebody that kind of is rousing or makes me kind of go, hey, yeah, cool, I like you. She's just kind of like, hey, you're still around and you got a seat at the table. And I mean, she talks a lot about climate change, and I don't agree with these solar panels. I don't agree with putting wind and solar and all that. That's more of an environmental waste. There's so many solar panels like sitting in landfills in California. You think you're going to bring that up here? And people don't realize that you need fuel to drive all this anyway. And, coal, I think she said something silly about coal production too, because we do produce coal here in BC. We have a lot of natural resources that are being neglected. I don't hear Eby or Furstenau talking about that ever, because those industries are going to fuel the economy. Those industries are what we need. She is just Mrs. Climate Change, and she did talk about housing quite a bit. She talked about rent caps, which I thought maybe that is a good idea, like cap the bloody rent, that the rent can't go over $2,000 for a basement suite or whatever. But the guys on the panel that I was with last night say that's not a good idea. Like that's too much government involved. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't want these crazy high rents for people, because I don't think that that's good for the economy. You have less disposable income. You're not going out for dinner. You're not shopping. You're not buying things. It's not good. So something has to be done on that front. But I mean, I don't have the answer. One other thing that was kind of funny that turned into a thing was like this: you can get cocaine in this province, but God forbid, cocaine is legal, but not paper straws.
We're very proud of the fact that we just need to get rid of the stuff that sucks in BC. Paper straws suck. I'm sorry, we've got to get rid of those. It doesn't work for people in BC. You know, there's a little meme I saw where there was 2 lines of white powder, supposedly cocaine, and a plastic straw, and the bottom sign said, one of these is illegal in BC. And that to me tells a great story in terms of David Eby's British Columbia. When we look at tips and what has happened in British Columbia, of course we can't impact what's going on the federal side, but we can categorize it and make sure that it's not taxed from a provincial side. And it's easy
Right,
enough to
the
be able to
tips,
do that in
yeah.
terms of computer technology today to do it. It's the right thing to do for people who are serving, people who need that extra little boost to make sure we have that sort of money available. These are the types of initiatives we need to do to be able to help people in British Columbia, not to put barriers and struggles in front of people in British Columbia. So we're actually, you know, very aggressive in everything that we need to do in this province because things aren't working. It's been 7 years, Mr. Eby, and he has not been able to deliver for people in BC. We need change, and that common sense change is what the Conservatives will deliver for BC.
I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, he's the only adult in the room there, it seems like. Everybody else is quite shrill and squawking, his opponents. But he's saying the things that I think need to be said and need to be heard. Now, some people, I just interviewed some independents and you know, they don't agree, they like him, they don't agree with everything, and that's okay. I say you vote for who you like. There are independents running. Vote for who you like. Vote for who speaks to you and who you resonate with, because we all know this is a game, politics. You get in the game, you got to play the game. You can't nobody is going to be a knight in shining armor that's going to come and save the day. That's not possible, right? But maybe if some people can make some better choices for our industries, our finances, our way of life, the cost of living, that type of thing, the stupid unsafe supply, maybe it could help things get back on track. We know nothing's going to be perfect, but we need to get back on track. So I'm just going to end a bit. I'll just show you a little bit of Clyde do something last night and the gang, and we had a few laughs at the end.
Right? He looks like your neighbor. He looks
Yeah.
he looks like your neighbor who's gotten up there, like, you know, a neighbor that you could actually imagine being your like premier. He looks like an adult. And I keep going back to also again. Can we just mention the fact that Eby's podium was like rigged against him? If I felt bad for Eby in any way, it's the fact that
Podium bugged you.
Yeah, whoever gave him that podium from Global News hated him because the podium only came up to like his waist right here. It was so weird.
Podiums, like they don't go up and down, it's just a chunk, right? So they're gonna make it a standard size. And you know, we can't help it that guy's a giraffe size. What is he, 6'6", 6'7"?
Well, in American politics, they do make custom podiums for each person. Maybe
Yeah, they
he
do.
doesn't deserve it, and we don't have the budget. Global doesn't have the budget.
Well, even in Alberta, when there was the debate with Danielle Smith and Rachel Notley, they had like a special stool for Rachel Notley to stand up, so she didn't look like a midget.
Petite, right? Yeah, she's like
David Eby, like his posture was terrible the entire debate. He was like this.
he was side profile the whole debate, just ready to go. Like, you talking about me? You talking about me? He was the whole time. He was like this. Like, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me?
Yeah, the cameraman had to keep panning around to his movements.
It's a locked off shot, and David Eby is just turned to the side. He's just turned to the side. That's
he turned his back to John Rustad like a jilted ex-lover.
Yeah.
So, but do you think that if regular people watch the debate, like people like my mom or whatever, do you think she'll be like, "Oh, that Rustad isn't so bad after all"? Or, I just don't know what the
he seemed sweet.
I don't know.
He seemed really nice. I thought so. I mean, I don't know. I'm being the black sheep of the panel and trying to be the most critical.
This is David Eby's posture. I'm trying to demonstrate.
That's the posture.
It kind of has this like bow.
That's funny.
Like,
how did you draw that so fast? That's so
this
funny.
is the David Eby like spine right there.
It's the Eby scoliosis. That's what the healthcare system gets you under that guy.
Oh my God, that was so funny. And like, look. It just cracked me up. It's just that made my night. Anyway, People, get out there and vote on October 19th. You can vote early. I think early voting starts tomorrow, which is October 10th. Thank you for watching this quick little wrap up here with me today. If you want to follow me, there's a bunch of places you can find me. You can find me here at my YouTube channel. Oops, that's Anita. Well, it's on the bottom there. Anita K808 is my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Rumble at Anita Krishna. I have an account, AK Straight Speaks. Also, you can follow me on X, Anita Krishna 1. Follow me, message me, tell me what you think about anything. You can be mean, you can be nice. It doesn't matter. I have a thick skin. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this broadcast today. We will catch you soon. See you next time.